Welcome back to Let's Play Battlefield 1942. On today's episode we have yet another round of Berlin. This time around hopefully it will not be a one-sided battle. Very often it's not one-sided, it's just that Berlin has the capacity to be very frequently one-sided on either the Allied or the Axis side. I'm joining this round. I guess it's been in progress for several seconds now. Already a bunch of Axis people are rolling up. And with any luck on the German side, we'll be able to bottle them up in their main base. But if they manage to get out, then it's going to be a battle for our lives here. I believe our tank has already been destroyed, so that's not a very good sign. If the Axis tank is destroyed and the Allies are able to get their tank out of the main and kind of roll around, get the infantry out, then it's very unlikely that the Allies are going to be camped in their main base. And once the genie's out of the bottle one time, that's pretty much it. We no longer will have any opportunity to camp them in their main. Looks like the German forces here are pretty disorganized and scattered around, so we could be in for a bit of trouble. You're always wise to conserve your bullets by firing in short bursts. Not only does that maintain your accuracy, it's also important to conserve your ammo on a map like this, because as soon as you're done shooting at one guy, it's very likely that another guy will appear out of nowhere and you're going to have to eliminate him with the same clip. I'm pretty sure I saw someone through the window here earlier. There's 3 floors. Yep, there's a sniper up there. So I'll do a rare thing here and show off the knife. Got a lucky knife there. With the lag with the knives on this game, it can be a little bit tricky unless you're going after a stationary target. I'm not sure why that guy spawned in as a sniper. As with the Stalingrad map, there is a lot of mist and haze, so your visibility is deliberately limited, which really renders the snipers not very useful. If you want to snipe, you should go in as an engineer, because the engineer's rifle zooms in about as well, considering the visibility, and you have the ability to use dynamite and landmines against the tanks. The Russians have taken this first flag, and it looks like one of the other two. I'm going to try to focus on this first flag, which tends to be their main spawn point once they've captured at least one flag. It's going to be very difficult for me though, because unless you've got a bunch of Germans running around together, the Russians are all going to spawn in at once, so they always have this advantage over you in terms of the numbers. The Russians really don't even have to consciously defend their flag. Simply by respawning in there over and over again, it pretty much does the trick. You're always going to have to deal with more than one soldier. And since there's only a couple flags, in this case one now for the Russians, maybe 2 flags, when they've only got 2 spawn points and nobody's going to be respawning in at their main base except maybe to take a tank, if they're just spawning in at 2 flags, then naturally there's going to be no flag left undefended or unguarded. There's always going to be at least a couple guys spawning in at the other flag, even if one flag is more popular than another. You can go inside some of these little rubble buildings here, but the one that I'm in currently, it looks like it's a good position to attack that flag, but it's really kind of an awkward angle, and it's well known. I just got shot in there because it's almost a cliche for the Germans, or I guess the Russians too, to use that position. looking more generally at the round now, we've got Russians with 195 and Germans with 172. So we've got somewhat of a lead there. Or, I'm sorry, the Russians have somewhat of a lead there, which is very dangerous for the Germans to be in that position. The Germans really need to count on having a lead throughout the round, because not only is there always the danger of losing all of your flags, but the Russians, with their uncapturable base, they have more opportunities to spawn in different areas, and the Germans are on the defensive, so they have to be more aggressive and take more risks, so they're at more danger. Plus the Russians have 2 tanks while the Germans have only 1. So over time the map tends to favor the Russian side more and more, which makes it even more important for the Germans to inflict ticket bleed right at the beginning, and we weren't able to do that for very long. There comes a point at which the Germans really have to take all the flags and start inflicting ticket bleed again against the Russians if they want to win. And I've just spawned in with the assault gun just to kind of show you how it goes. It's really only an advantage there when you're right on top of the enemy. Otherwise, you're better off with the medic gun. So that was my experiment with the assault gun there. But as I was saying, you know, at best, the Germans here are going to just maintain the status quo in terms of the ticket gap. But even then, we're going to lose by 30 tickets or so. So the Germans really have no strategy other than try to get all the flags back, try not to lose any more flags in there, because at the end of the arc, when you're blown up into the air, if you don't land directly on the ground at the same level, if you fall a greater distance, you can activate your parachute. It's just one of the weird things about this game. Very frustrating for tanks. I'm probably going to be the only one to assault this flag over here, although there's one other German. Well, not anymore. But there's a tank right over here, and it's empty. He may be trying to repair it. Yeah, it looks like it. And unfortunately, I don't know if the fence got in the way there or it was just bad aim. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have gone for the attack there because I alerted him to my presence, which was unfortunate. If I hadn't alarmed him there, I may have been able to neutralize and take the flag before he came over here and stopped me. That's kind of the rule. If you're going to attack someone who's repairing their tank, you've got to make absolutely certain that you're going to kill them instantly. At best, they're just going to jump right back inside the tank. And he very foolishly decided to jump out of the tank, but not before someone else jumped in over here to help him out. Little splash damage against the wall will kill him. Stay tuned for part 2.